Hello everyone, good afternoon. Today a new date for our Emirati-Germany partnership events. So today we have the launch debate on new alliance, Israel, Germany, Emirati, in the Energy Saving Forum. So in this event, UAE, Israel and Germany will present energy policies framework and will showcase some of the best practices as well in the building sector to enable the energy saving in each country. Also in this event, we will have a discussion panel focusing on successful policies, regulation for the energy saving in this amazing sector. So my name is Nawal Hanai. I'm the Future Energy Department, Director Department in the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure. I would like to welcome you all with our team, panelists and speakers. My colleague Ellen, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Nawal, for hosting us today again here. So it's a great moment for us as well. My name is Ellen von Zitzewitz. I'm responsible for the MENA Cooperation in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action. And today is a very special moment for us because we have since 2017 a wonderful energy partnership with the United Arab Emirates. And we have since this year also an energy partnership with Israel. So this is really a unique opportunity, and it's actually the first meeting we have trilaterally together to talk about energy transition and climate change. And with that, I would like to start the panel discussion with His Excellency Stefan Wenzel, the State Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action. And Stefan Wenzel was appointed 2022 as a State Secretary. And prior for joining the government, he was member of the Landtag in Lower Saxony. He was Environment Minister in Lower Saxony. And now he's very much involved in the German energy transition, which is a huge task at the moment. Thank you very much, Stefan. Please start.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, now it's working. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear panelists, let me first thank you for the organization of this event here. It's I'm happy that we come together in this constellation. Germany had not an easy time in the last months because energy security is discussed very strong in the summer after the beginning of the illegal Russian war against Ukraine. So we had different effects. For example, the prices are skyrocketing, and that was not only in Europe, it was internationally the same. And in addition to Germany's aid to the Ukrainian people and the government, our dependence on fossil imports from Russia will be addressed by an accelerated energy transition. We want to get rid of the Russian fossil fuels as fast as possible, and in the light of climate change, the Russian war and the current energy crisis, Germany will leverage its energy efficiency potential, expand renewables, and diversify energy supply. Please let me also highlight Germany's strong commitment to the climate goals, to the Paris Agreement. Our climate policies will be enhanced together with the European Union with the Repower EU plan we launched after the beginning of the war. And in the midterm, to compensate the additional emissions of the current energy security measures. So we are on the track to strengthen the transformation of our energy sector, and we would be happy to do that in good cooperation with our partnerships in Hawaii and Israel too.
Thank you very much. I mean, energy efficiency is really, everybody talks about hydrogen here, which I think is very important, but energy efficiency is actually core of the energy transition. And now I'm very happy to introduce Dr. Gideon Friedman. He's a chief scientist of the Ministry of Energy in Israel. He has an impressive academic and entrepreneurial background in energy policy and economics. You have been negotiating, you are participating of all the processes in R&D, in energy transition. I think the right word for you would be Mr. Energy Transition of Israel. Thank you very much, Dr. Gideon Friedman, to be with us here today.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for hosting me. It's a great opportunity to meet German and UAE collaborator or potential collaborators. I do want to talk about two things. One is energy efficiency, of course. Yes, everybody is talking now about generating cheap renewable energy, but we must not forget the energy efficiency. Even if we can produce cheap energy efficiency in the sustainability sense is still very, very important. Traditionally in Israel, it's not received the main focus, but I think we need to focus more, and with the help of our partners, perhaps we can focus a little bit more on energy efficiency. The second thing I want to say is the collaboration. So collaboration on energy efficiency, I would see two main paths. One is knowledge. I think we can share knowledge, experience, and save time in progressing and moving forward with the technology. And two is the technology itself. We need to find the technologies that will bring us better energy efficiency, and later maybe I will give an example or two. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. So now the time is for His Excellency Isa Abdurrahman Al-Hashimi. His Excellency is the Assistant Undersecretary for Sustainable Communities Sector and Acting Assistant Undersecretary for Green Development and Climate Change Sector in the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment in UAE. His Excellency have more than 15 years experience in UAE authorities and ministries. He led the development of the UAE National Food Security Strategy and introduction of new technologies in agriculture sector, as well as development of sustainable infrastructure, transportation, and environmental management. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nawal. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like first to thank our partners, Germany and the State of Israel, for co-hosting this event, and it's quite a pleasure to talk about energy efficiency. During the last 6 months, we went through a very aggressive process in developing our national net zero strategy, and within this specific exercise, we did notice that if we would like to take on this specific journey and achieve net zero carbon neutrality across many sectors, we need to capitalize on accelerating some of the significant efforts that would provide a win-win situation for our industries as well as the environment. With that being said, energy efficiency has shown us that it is one of the key levers of achieving carbon neutralities. Just yesterday in the ministerial session, when we talk about ambition pre-2030 and looking at the industry sector as well as the building sector, the key interventions that we looked at is energy efficiency. In the UAE, it's very prominent that this can bring significant benefits, including energy saving, GHG emissions reduction, as well as bring the financial viability for such business. In Dubai, we have the Ittihad Energy Efficiency Services Company, which is looking at investing $8.17 billion in retrofit programs for buildings in order to reduce emissions and achieve also sustainability in those elements. They target about 30,000 buildings, and the process goes on with other Emirates. All our efforts is governed by our National Demand-Side Management Program, which is led by the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure, and we target to reducing our energy efficiency by 40% until 2050. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the need of the hour that we accelerate energy efficiency measure, because it impacts two parts or two elements of the energy trifecta affordability, and security. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Your Excellency, for your amazing work. Definitely, UAE have ambition to increase the efficiency targets, as well as we are refreshing our energy strategy 2050, and we will announce that on the first quarter next year, inshallah. So now we will have the second round of the inputs for the best practice for leveraging energy savings. We will have His Excellency Khalid Al-Baisi, His Excellency the COO for Abu Dhabi Energy Services. He is the Chief Executive Officer at this company in August 2021. In his current role, His Excellency play an integral and significant role in helping grow the energy services marketplace. Previously, His Excellency served in leadership position in numerous companies, and he holds a Bachelor of Science in Financial Administration and Finance Institute. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for setting the scene, Your Excellency. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to address you all here today. So over the next, I'll tell you very quick, I was asked by the MC to have a short and quick session. So I'll speak to you a bit about who we are and what we do. ADIS is a subsidiary of TAQA. And TAQA is a national low-carbon champion and a decarbonization partner in the UAE. So what we do, we are one of the trusted super ESCOs that look after government building retrofit program. So we've got what His Excellency mentioned, the demand-side management strategy. One of the programs under demand-side management strategy is to retrofit government buildings. And basically, how we do that, we help our partners, decarbonize their use, decarbonize their buildings, decarbonize the facilities and assets they own by identifying and developing energy efficiency projects across their buildings. So we provide 100% funding for these projects. We help people future-proof their carbon footprint and their consumption. So what we hope to do and add this is basically to have a real impact on making reduction of consumption of water and power a day-to-day lifestyle to government entities and businesses. Thank you very much.
Also from our side, we are very happy that we have the political level here, but also the companies, because we want not only to discuss the potentials, but we really want to do. And one of the companies in Germany who is very active actually and very successful in doing it is actually Siemens. And I'm very happy to invite today Mr. Helmut von Struve. He is the Siemens CEO of the Middle East. He has been also 20 years experience in the companies in leadership roles in Germany, United Arab Emirates, Libya and Pakistan. He is an engineer and business executive. He is focusing on melding technologies such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, additive manufacturing, 5G and automation. So you see, I mean, we're not talking about the old style of energy efficiency here. We're really talking about modern solutions. So please, Helmut von Struve, yours.
Yeah, Your Excellency, thank you very much, and I echo what you have said. It's really a great honor to be here at this tri-party event, the first one in this form to support energy dialogue and energy collaboration between the countries. I'm proudly based in the UAE, in Masdar City, and when you talk about best practices, I think one of the, from our experience, when we talk about Siemens, from our experience towards governments, but also big organization, is if you look at best practices, we want to aim high. We want to aim high in order to really create opportunities then for the entire ecosystem to grow. And has been also been quite a discussion about growth on the one hand, but also then reduction of emissions and reduction of carbon emissions in the overall scheme. And I think their public and private sectors play a very important role to achieve this. looking at some of the examples that we have been working on in not only the field of infrastructure and buildings, but also in the industrial area and transportation. Those are three main areas that we have identified and that we are working on very diligently. And if we look at the first one, it's actually a really, really great example, which is also showcased over there at one of the screens. And I'm talking about Expo 2020. Expo 2020 that was hosted in Dubai beginning of last year and until March this year was a project that most of you have potentially heard about. And it was one of those areas where the partners in the UAE very early identified that they said they want to set an example in regards of sustainability and also digitalization. And this is a theme that is echoing our aim and our what we do as a business very, very well. So we wanted to make sure that in this project energy and resources are used efficiently using digitalization technology, but also integrating different types of energy, renewable energy and also hydrogen, green hydrogen, which is being produced in one of the areas close to Expo 2020. And when we started doing this partnership as Siemens, we were the premier partner for infrastructure digitalization for Expo 2020. We deployed a number of solutions that actually helped to bring really this site into one of those areas that is a best practice and a best example of for future city. So what did we actually do? We created an IoT platform based on MindSphere that serves as Expo's central nervous system, connecting both the physical but also the real world and the digital world. We had more than 15,000 cameras, 5,000 doors, different systems connecting the various subsystems, 200,000 data points. And our navigation, our building management system installed in 130 buildings, enabling the operators of this site to really understand the data, understand some and set some of the KPIs. We developed a digital twin of the whole Expo site, and you have it on a single pane of glass. You have the whole district that enables you as an operator to set your KPIs, that develops energy efficiency savings with the technology that has been deployed. That is in the infrastructure side. And I'll quickly come to the point. Yeah, I know. We are also working very closely with the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology towards enabling the industry to become more energy efficient, higher productivity. We did more than 200 assessments of factories within the UAE to understand their status of where they are when it comes towards Industry 4.0 adoption and how they can, using digital tools, increase their efficiency, increase their productivities. And last but not least, with the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure, we are together developing a very important roadmap for the EV charging. So we have together with the Ministry and Your Excellencies worked together to develop a high-speed charging network, a corridor, installed in the different Emirates that allows people to fast charge their vehicles, taking away some of the range anxieties that you have and enabling then also the UAE to become one of the leading countries in the region in this regard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think we have great examples. I would like to welcome also one special person we have here today, which is Ms. Lisa Badum. She is heading the International Climate and Energy Committee in the German Parliament, and she's also head of the German-Israeli Association. And I think she would also like to welcome us briefly. Please, Lisa.
Thank you very much. So just to send a message from the German Parliament, or especially German Green Party and the Committee on Climate and Energy, Foreign Politics. And as the Vice President of the German-Israeli Society, I'm really enthusiastic about this project and this trilateral partnership because I think this can be the beginning of a renewable Middle East. So for me, it's a historic day, and I'm looking forward to all the projects to come. So congratulations, and I wish you the best. Hope we stay in touch with the parliaments in all three countries. Great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, for that. And with that, I would like to enter now the discussion panel, and I would like to start again with Stefan. So you mentioned Germany wants to save 500 terawatt hours. So for the participants here today, what are the 3 lessons learned? What would you advise, and what could be also core of the trilateral cooperation?
And one thing is energy efficiency. It's not so much spoken about energy efficiency in the former time than about a lot of other technologies, but it's a core point for our energy strategy, because we want to save half of the energy, half of the primary energy we're using today. That sounds very much if we say we want to save half of the energy. But if we look at the technologies, if we look what the companies already have can achieve with their products, we came very close to this goal. For example, an electricity cars, combustion cars needs about 40 kilowatt hours, 40 to 50 when you have a little one, to drive 100 k's. With an electric car with 10 kilowatt hours, you can drive 100 kilometers. So it's an advantage of 75%. And we can build houses now who using much less energy than a normal house in Germany. It's no problem to build a house which uses only 10% of the median house. But we can also build houses which are producing energy. In future time, we will see houses which produces more energy than they're using. And that's very important. Even when we think about cooling in our region, we more discussing about heating. But in a region like the MENA region, cooling is also important for the future. And if we are possible to do that very efficient, then we must not produce this energy. We must not pay for it. We have no emissions from this energy. And so I'm looking forward to this cooperation, and we can learn, I think, a lot from another and learn together how to build up an economy most efficiency. We say in Germany, efficiency first. First we look into efficiency, and then we have to decide where we can get the energy we can't avoid.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So, Your Excellency Isa, you touch up on the target that for UAE we have efficiency target to achieve 40% by 2050. In your point of view, how we could achieve this percentage or above using such a platform to accelerate the achievement of these targets?
So when we look at this industry, again, there will be 2 elements that we'll be focusing on. The first one is the demand side of the energy required by different sectors and different communities. And with that being said, we are trying to build education around making the smarter choices when it comes to the different appliances and technologies that could be used in consumption of energy. The UAE has started about now more than 10 years ago with the energy efficiency program for different appliances, from cooling, heating, household appliances, and the light systems. Also, on the same side, it is well noted that it would be that building management systems will provide significant enhancement and efficiency measures to those to the way that energy is being consumed by the stakeholders. So this is very critical that we build this specific education and knowledge among the community. When it comes to the supply side, we should focus also on innovation and the adoption of the technologies that would enhance efficiency of energy produced and transmitted toward supplying the energy to our customers. With that being said, I would like to use an example. In Dubai, they started with Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park, and they used to have approximately 1 square kilometer to produce 1 megawatt out of solar energy. Advancement of technology led to doubling the energy production within the same area utilized. So it is very critical that we realize the need to foster innovation and research and development and adoption of technologies that could enhance the energy efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. Now, Dr. Gideon Friedman, I mean, Israel is known for its intelligence, for his also the startup companies. So what would be your point, and how would you like to see this cooperation work for the future?
So I think, first of all, let me mention our target for the future. Our national energy efficiency program calls for 1.3% reduction in energy use per unit of GDP per year. So this is how we want to progress. Israel is growing, so we stated this in terms of the GDP rather than an absolute percentage. I think I also want to mention the collaboration because we have now a representative from my department in Germany. It helped actually bring about this meeting today, and also perhaps one day we will have a representative in the UAE, which will also enable us to do a lot more in collaboration. In terms of how to handle the energy efficiency, which I think is a struggle for many countries in the world, how to drive the market to energy efficiency. And I think we have to place the right regulation and right incentives in order to bring this about. I will give a good example and maybe a not so good example of steps that we did. We proposed a loan guarantee program to do energy efficiency projects in Israel in a fairly large sum, and it ran for more than a year, and essentially nobody took it up. So this was not a very successful step. I do believe in, let's say, steps that will call for everyone to participate, and the initiative has to come from the bottom, because the government has a difficulty to address all the issues. Energy efficiency is very complex. The answer in one factory is different from another factory, and a building is not an industry, and the transportation is completely different from the others. So really the initiative has to come from the bottom. The incentive has to come from the top. So an example of a good step that we took is opening our import market for let's say white label appliances in homes, which was regulated in the sense that every instrument had to be checked by an official authority. And now we open the market, and we expect this actually to bring lower prices for the appliances, and also, of course, installation of more efficient appliances. So we expect this to bring about a lot, because this is a sort of a step that the government took, but the initiative will have to come from the bottom. And we certainly would like to share with our partners the good steps and what can be done and what works well for you, for both countries, and we can share our experiences as well, and to find the ways, the means to bring about the energy efficiency.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. So from the company's perspective, Your Excellency Khaled, how to move this collaboration forward from your point of view?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. I don't completely have the answer for, but I can tell you that we can draw a parallel. You know, if I would extend the thinking on the fact that energy efficiency projects are idiosyncratic and very specific in an industrial setup, in a building. If you would retrofit a tower versus a school versus a hospital there are definitely very specific differences. So the way we look at it as a super ESCO, we are a market maker. So what we do, we identify energy efficiency potential in buildings, and then we develop those projects. And the fact that things are specific, for example, there are three ways you can arrive at an energy efficiency solution in a building. So cooling is a big element of the utility bill in the UAE. So it's typically 70% of the base load is used for air conditioning. The remaining is split between water and lighting. So you would have energy efficiency solutions for cooling, energy efficiency solutions for lighting, energy efficiency solutions for water. And by the same token, these solutions, you can further extrapolate them. There being mainly three types of solution: control-related solutions, and then maintenance/overhaul-related solutions, and then replacement. So, for example, you'll have a building where the AC is just too old, and there's no hope in retrofitting it. So you just rip it off and install a new air conditioning in place. That will deliver a saving. However, the payback for this saving is longer than if you would just install motion light sensors, which would save you a lot in terms of percentage, but they cost less. So as a super ESCO in Abu Dhabi and overall in the UAE, what we look for when we think of energy efficiency, the economics are very important. Things need to make commercial sense, yes, but then we look at the maximum depth that we can do in terms of retrofitting the buildings, in terms of delivering maximum decarbonization and maximum reduction of CO2 equivalent in the buildings to retrofit them. So to answer your question, how I may see this going forward, perhaps to start with sharing experience, and we see from there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Helmut von Struber, your company is operating in all the three countries. You have projects in Germany, you have projects in the United Arab Emirates, and you have projects in Israel. From that, maybe 3 points, what you would like to see out of this cooperation.
Well, we are, as you said, we are operating in all the three countries. Our main focus areas is obviously digitalization, where we work on applying digital technologies to connect the different sensors and the tools and software, and having a clear understanding with an open platform, for example, to work in an ecosystem. And I think this is, we work, for example, Expo, I mentioned Expo, and next year it will be the host of COP28. The ecosystem that we created there, with working together with different parties, like some of them might be our competitors, some of them are our partners already, but I think this exchange, and this is something very, very crucial, and I would expect that also from there we gain learnings from what we have been doing in the UAE, what has been done in Israel, what has been also currently being developed and has been achieved in Germany. And then there our technologies really help also to gap and bridge the gap that is existing in certain experience fields.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I think we are coming to an end, but before I will summarize a little bit the things I will take off. So we have actually experience in policy and regulations, and I think we should identify best practice examples. We could do as together maybe a non-paper, just every country puts in some of the examples of good regulation and see how this could be shared. Second thing, I hear innovation, digitalization, so I think this could be also something, just dreaming about joint training courses, maybe also joint research projects on these topics. And the third thing, I think, is really also pilot projects. So could there be the options also to implement actually real pilot projects also with a view of COP28? So if this maybe could be the 3 pillars of our collaborative work, we would be very happy to continue this discussion. And maybe one option could be at the
Abu Dhabi Sustainable Week, we will have our energy partnership with Germany. So everyone is invited to attend, and hopefully we can replicate that event in January, inshallah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Before we end, I would like to thank the German Chamber of Commerce, the Guidehouse team, the team of the Abu Dhabi Ministry for Economic and Infrastructure for organizing this year. Thank you very much to the team.
Thank you, everyone.